These 7 money habits are keeping you broke, and you will not be happy when you realize that all of these points actually describe you. But at least after watching this video, you can get some insight on how you could change this situation around. So let's take a look at them. Number 1, living paycheck to paycheck. Now, living paycheck to paycheck means that as soon as you get paid, you immediately start spending your money. And by the end of the month, you have nothing left until the next paycheck comes in, and then the cycle just repeats itself over and over again. And it can be pretty easy to fall into this trap because sometimes our monthly expenses can be higher than our income, so we spend everything we have until we have to borrow money to cover the rest. But if you keep doing this for too long, you will never be able to save up enough money to become wealthy. If you want to change this habit, try to find ways to cut down on your expenses so that you can save more money each month. And it won't be easy. If you want to do it right, you should really rethink the way you spend your money and look for alternatives that are cheaper. But the good news is that even if you can only save a little bit each month, over time it will add up and compound. Just remember to invest your savings wisely and stay disciplined with your budget. Number 2, you rely on debt to pay for your lifestyle. Now, debt is something that can be very dangerous if you don't know how to use it correctly. When you take out a loan or use a credit card, you're basically borrowing money from someone else that has to be paid back with interest. And if you're not careful, you can easily get into a cycle of debt that is very difficult to escape from. For example, let's say you buy a new car on credit. Then something goes wrong with the car and you need to take it to the mechanic. Because you already owe money on the car, you don't have the cash to pay for the repairs, so you put it on your credit card. Then you go on vacation and charge all your expenses to your credit card. When you come back home, you have to put everything on your credit card. You have no cash left because you spent it all on your vacation. The mechanic bill comes due and you don't have any money to pay for it. So you charge it to your credit card. This cycle keeps going on, and before you know it, you're completely overwhelmed by the amount of debt that you have to pay back. To avoid this, make sure you have enough money saved up before taking out any loans or using a credit card to buy something you do not need. Remember, debt can be a powerful tool if used correctly, but it can also be very dangerous if you're not careful. Number 3, you don't track your spending or create a budget. Imagine walking into a grocery store without any money in your pocket and without any idea of how much things cost. You start grabbing items off the shelves and throwing them into your cart without thinking about it. Then you head to the checkout counter and see that your total bill is $100. But you only had $20 in your wallet. What would you do in this situation? Most likely you would feel shocked and disappointed in yourself for spending so much money when you didn't have the money to back it up. That's what happens when you don't track your spending or create a budget. You have no idea where your money is going and you end up spending more than you can afford. A budget is essentially a plan for your money, a roadmap that tells you where your money is going and how to allocate your resources effectively. It helps you track your spending, identify areas where you can cut back and make smart financial decisions. But it doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice your happiness or stop enjoying your life. It simply means that you're being intentional with your spending instead of mindlessly throwing money away. By creating a budget, you gain control over your finances and make sure that your money is working for you and not against you. Number 4. You ignore savings and emergency funds. Savings and emergency funds are like a safety net for your financial life. They provide you with a sense of security knowing that you have money set aside for unexpected expenses or future goals. However, many people choose to ignore savings and emergency funds, which can lead to financial problems down the road. Without savings, you're more likely to rely on credit cards or loans to cover unexpected expenses, which can add up quickly and leave you in a cycle of debt. Additionally, not having an emergency fund can be devastating if an unexpected event occurs, such as a job loss or medical emergency. It can create unnecessary stress and anxiety, which can impact your overall well-being. Moreover, ignoring savings and emergency funds can prevent you from achieving your long-term financial goals. Whether you want to buy a house, start a business, or retire early, having savings and an emergency fund is essential to make your dreams a reality. Number 5. You engage in impulse buying and emotional spending. Impulse buying and emotional spending are two separate but equally dangerous money habits that can keep you broke if you let them. Impulse buying refers to making unplanned purchases without considering whether you need the item or can afford it. On the other hand, emotional spending involves making purchasing decisions based on your mood or feelings rather than logic and reason. Both habits can lead to overspending, financial instability, and a sense of regret. Emotional spending can result in overspending on things that provide temporary pleasure, but ultimately do not bring lasting happiness. For example, buying expensive clothes or accessories may give you a temporary boost in confidence, but it will not solve underlying issues such as low self-esteem. Similarly, impulse buying can lead to acquiring items that you do not need or use frequently, resulting in wasted money and clutter. To avoid these money habits, it's important to be aware of your emotions and develop strategies to manage them effectively. Before making any purchase, ask yourself whether you really need it and if it fits within your budget. Consider waiting a few days before making the purchase to see if you still want it just as much. Developing these habits will help you become more financially disciplined and prevent you from making impulsive or emotional spending decisions that can keep you trapped in a cycle of financial struggle. Number 6. You delay investing and wealth building. Putting off investing and wealth building is a common money habit that can keep you stuck and struggling financially. Many people believe that investing is too complicated or risky and that building wealth takes a lifetime. As a result, they delay taking action and miss out on the potential benefits of investing. However, the truth is that investing is not as daunting as it seems. With the rise of online platforms, investing has become more accessible than ever. There are plenty of resources available to help beginners get started on their investment journey. One of the biggest reasons people delay investing is fear. They may be afraid of making the wrong investment decisions or losing money. However, it's important to remember that investing always carries some level of risk, and it's impossible to predict the future of the market. The key is to educate yourself about different investment options and develop a diversified portfolio that aligns with your risk tolerance and financial goals. Another reason people may put off investing is a lack of discipline. Investing requires patience and consistency. It's important to stay focused on your long-term goals and resist the temptation to make quick trades or chase after hot stocks. By developing a disciplined approach to investing, you can stay on track and avoid making impulsive decisions that could derail your financial progress. Number 7. You don't prioritize financial education and planning. Financial education and planning are crucial for anyone who wants to achieve financial success. Without a basic understanding of financial concepts and a plan for managing your money, it's easy to fall into a cycle of debt, overspending, and missed opportunities. Unfortunately, many people neglect financial education and planning, which can have serious consequences for their financial well-being. One of the main reasons people ignore financial education and planning is a lack of knowledge. They may not know where to start or feel intimidated by complex financial terms and concepts. However, there are plenty of resources available to help you learn about personal finance, investing, and retirement planning. Additionally, there are many financial advisors and planners who can provide guidance and support as you work toward your financial goals. Another reason people overlook financial education and planning is a lack of time. Managing your finances may not be at the top of your priority list, especially when you're busy with work, family, or other commitments. However, it's important to remember that investing in your financial education and planning can pay off in the long run. By taking the time to learn about personal finance and create a plan for your money, you can set yourself up for a more secure and prosperous future.